All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Level Up Mental Health. My name is Swizz, and we're going to be talking about selfishness and selflessness. And I've kind of seen this a lot too, where it's really hard to be able to kind of look at the both, and especially when you hear selfishness, you think, "Oh man, like it's bad. Like I shouldn't do that." But I'm here to tell you again, just kind of knowing that we need to have the balance between the two, and it's okay to be selfish. And I'll kind of share a few examples here as we go through this. So let's break down what each of those are. So being selfish, as we're kind of talking about, is kind of doing the things that you feel you need, especially if we're looking at like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So you need nourishment, shelter, whatever it is, right? Like obviously, if you're selfless the entire time and that's not being fulfilled, you may not survive, right? So that's the goal there is be able to do those things, right? Now, as we kind of go up that Maslow's hierarchy of needs those things may start to kind of really become gray in terms of when you feel you need to be selfish and when you need to be selfless. Selflessness is obviously, kind of given towards others, support, whatever it is in that sense as well. Um, the goal that we're trying to do is we want to try to be able to balance between when we're selfish and when we're being selfless. It can be super hard and difficult because you may at one point think like, oh, I need to be selfish here, and then it turns out when you were being selfish, it may have had ramifications, right? And you start kind of question, should I have been selfless? So what's important to understand is number one, when you are making a decision, you're making a decision that you feel is best for you in that moment, right? Um, hey, I need to help this person out because I think that I know that they'll be helpful, and that's my decision there, right? And we're constantly having that balance being here, that kind of the equilibrium of between when we are selfish and being selfless, and as we're well aware that if you happen to be more selfish on one side, it's at the expense of being selfless towards other, and then kind of vice versa. If you're too selfless, you're giving too much, it's at the expense for yourself. So the goal to kind of remind yourself is, in this moment, do I need to be selfish or do I need to be selfless? And it's hard, like I said, because especially if you have other people or other parties around that kind of question your decision, at the end of the day, what you're trying to make, day in and day out is what you feel is going to be best for you. So just continue to reinforce when you are making those decisions that it's okay, whatever it may be that you're kind of thinking about it, and when you need to make that decision, that you recognize that hey, maybe I need to be selfish here, or maybe I need to be selfless. It's okay to have both. What's not okay is when you have you're at the expense of others, right? Or at the expense for yourself. If you are constantly every single day being selfish or constantly every single day being selfless, it's going to not only impact you, it'll impact your relationships with everything. So we want to try to have that healthy balance and do our best that we can to find out what that is each and every day. Okay? So that's that. Thanks so much. Hopefully you'll like this video here. Please make sure to like, subscribe. Otherwise, check in the next video.